let's do my interview. I would really appreciate that.
Let's do your interview, Rachel, and then you can go to prison for a long time. Hello, everybody. My name is ASDF. Welcome back to Kyle is Famous. Last time we became Santa Claus by freeing the elves. We need to change jobs.
Kyle thought very carefully about
Oh,
the first
we
move of his
unlocked Christmas. Embrace the
day.
Christmas
Kyle started
spirit.
to leave his bed. Something stopped him. Maybe it was a smell in the air. Maybe it was the chill from outside, or maybe it was just pure luck. Kyle had been imbued with the spirit of Christmas.
Amazing. Perfect timing for the
In
episode.
an instant, Kyle began to hear the dreams and wishes of every child in the world all at once.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a
Kyle's
lot.
newfound abilities were quite overwhelming. He clutched his head and screamed loudly. The voices did not stop. Kyle curled into a small ball and rocked back and forth.
Oh my goodness.
Not to be left alone, Kyle was gifted with a Christmas miracle.
Oh, poor Kyle.
Small bumps began forming under his skin, pushing outwards. Kyle's skin began to stretch and tear, letting loose a small army of elves that had been growing in his stomach. The elves scattered around Kyle's apartment, foraging for anything remotely nutritious to feed on.
What is this game?
Kyle burst an elf army. He had been chosen to become Santa Claus.
Okay.
Kyle decided that the best course of action was to fulfill his duties as Santa Claus.
Nice. Nice.
Kyle stepped out of bed, stray elves falling from various holes in his skin.
That's weird.
Kyle must now continue his day as Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa Kyle's. Oh boy. All right. Well, I suppose we should start with the basics and see what we got. Create Santa's list.
Kyle knew he must construct his naughty and nice list. He began to think of all of the people in his life. Kyle thought of Gabby.
Gabby is the masked vigilante. What do you guys think? Do you think that if Batman were here, he'd be on the naughty list or the nice list? Because beating people to a pulp, not a very nice thing to do. But defeating criminals, kind of a nice thing to do, just not nice to... Okay, naughty list.
Gabby crashed through Kyle's floor and began punching him in the face repeatedly.
Yay!
After a few minutes, she left through his bedroom door.
I think Gabby has superpowers.
Kyle thought of Rachel.
Well, Rachel's a philanthropist, but when we said, "Are you guilty?" she got all guilty and evasive. I'm putting her on the naughty list.
Kyle thought of Techno Jim.
Naughty for sure. Techno Jim is amazing. He bursts into flames for our entertainment.
Kyle thought of Kyle.
Oh. Well, I'm impartial.
Kyle ripped his list out of his notebook.
All right. We made it. Can we check it twice? Let's see what we got. Kyle opened up the side drawer of his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. Okay, small key for the pantry.
Kyle
we might as
grabbed the
well.
small key he kept in his desk.
What if we need to eat all the lard to become large like Santa Claus? Let's go back to the room, open the closet, choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Santa suit.
Kyle appropriately chose to dress as Santa, who he was.
Yes, I dressed as myself. I am Kyle. Okay, and scavenge. Let's just see what we got.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need
This is why we scavenge, elves.
Kyle winced as he realized he would probably need to bring some elves along.
All these things that just crawled out of
Kyle
holes in
grabbed a
my
nearby
skin.
bag. He started to crawl around, snatching up elves left and right and chucking them inside.
We got the elves, boys.
Soon, Kyle's bag was mostly full of elves.
Let's keep looking for elves.
Kyle used his elbow to compress the bag's contents so he could fit more elves.
This is dark.
After several shoves, the contents of the bag had compressed severely.
I'm sorry, elves.
Kyle continued to gather elves. Soon, Kyle's bag was a solid mass of elf flesh.
This is like the later episodes of Llamas with Hats. Okay, so we've done all that. I have a feeling... Well, what can we do as Santa
Kyle
Claus?
walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
Oh, pancakes, gross.
Kyle stretched out his hand, twisting it in its socket around and around.
Magic.
He sang a Christmas tune under his breath.
Confetti comes out of the air.
The door swung open, letting Kyle through.
All right, but that's the end of the day. So
Kyle
I'm just trying to
hurried the
gather.
set.
Oh, we're still going to the set?
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
I didn't think we were doing the
Good
interview.
evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Before Rachel had completely finished her sentence, Kyle took his bag of elves and dumped them on her. The elves grabbed onto Rachel with a deathly, unshakable grip. Kyle, what on earth? Cried Rachel. She leapt up from her chair and tried to bat the elves off of her. These, Rachel, said Kyle, are your newest and bestest friends. You must take good care of them.
Why is he so calm?
The elves looked Rachel in the eyes and smiled endearingly.
Why is he so calm?
Unknown to anyone previously, Rachel had terrible allergic reactions to elf dander.
I think we killed Rachel.
Within moments, Rachel's whole body turned bright red and began to puff. This reaction was not like a normal reaction. The very foundational composition of Rachel's person began to change.
All right.
Rachel started to sprout limbs from her legs and forehead. Her fingers grew extra eyes.
Excuse me, her fingers grew extra eyes?
As Rachel continued to mutate, it became obvious to the onlookers what was happening. Rachel was transforming into the pure embodiment of Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Kyle realized that if he was going to keep his job as Santa, this would have to be nipped in the bud.
I gotta defeat the
Kyle
new
started
embodiment
to pull
of
elves
Christmas.
off of the growing Rachel.
Oh no.
Instead of slowing the growing process, this seemed to give Rachel's body more space to develop new limbs and ears.
Oh no.
After pulling off a few more elves, Kyle threw up his hands in frustration and gave up. He walked out of the building.
I throw both hands,
Rachel
but this one would hit
continued
the
to grow,
microphone.
becoming a shapeless mass of teeth, shoulders, and fat.
Oh.
The elves were slowly enveloped.
This does not feel like the true embodiment
After the
of
initial
Christmas.
shock wore off, the surrounding community began to appreciate Rachel's new form.
Oh.
Over the years, she became an icon of local Christmas tradition, acting as a centerpiece for decoration and celebrations.
Uh-huh.
Rachel truly became the embodiment of Christmas.
Hey, you know, I saved the elves, became Santa Claus, and
Kyle, still
brought
Santa,
about
remained very
the
jealous.
pure embodiment of Christmas. Kyle started a tradition. Guys, we started a tradition. Victory. Let's gather the elves, which was scavenge for elves.
Kyle winced as he realized he would probably need to bring some elves along.
But only a little bit.
Grabbed a nearby bag. Soon, Kyle's bag was mostly full of elves.
All right, that's enough. We got a bag of elves. We don't need to spend the extra time shoving them in the bag. Oh, sorry, microphone. My bad. All right, and then let's open the closet. Put on the Santa suit.
Kyle appropriately chose
Where's
to dress
my
as
Santa
who
suit?
He was.
You tell me where my suit is, woman. Okay, we got to check the locked door and use
Kyle
our Christmas
walked over
magic
to
on
the
it.
strange. Kyle
I don't really know
stretched
where
out
to
his
put my
hand,
microphone
twisting
these
it in
days.
its socket around and around. He sang a Christmas tune under his breath. The door swung open, letting Kyle through.
Okay, check the sewing machine, check supernatural artifact, get laser claymore. So these are the same. Let's check the sewing machine.
Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half removed.
Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, we don't need any of those yet. Let's try the kitchen. Make Christmas cookies.
Kyle thought it would be nice to make some Christmas cookies.
Aww.
He opened every drawer and cupboard in his kitchen, trying to decide what he would top his cookies with.
Uh-oh.
Soon, he had narrowed it down to 4 choices.
Oh, 2 of these are... One of them is dreadful. One of them is gross. One of them is weird. And one of them is normal. All right, let's do the normal ending. Rats? Okay, we'll do rats.
Kyle placed one of the dead rats
They
in his
crunched.
sink on each cookie.
This stream was sponsored by
very
Leviathan
bad.
Sprinkles. They were very bad. Oh, gross.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
All right, let's do... Why?
Kyle
Why
constructed a
rats?
breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage.
Ah, delicious breakfast.
Kyle ate his
Bad
breakfast slowly
food.
and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite.
Did I eat the bad cookies with the
Felt
rats?
refreshed.
Excuse me? I didn't mean to eat them. They're Leviathan rats? Oh, man. Okay, we'll leave the apartment, go on Santa duties.
Kyle realized it was wise to conduct his duties as Santa.
Release the elves in the world? Yeah, I think so.
Kyle
Oh,
hurried to the
no!
set.
It wouldn't let us finish it. Bummer.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous
You
woman
hate
with an
Leviathan
air
elves.
of genuinity. As Good
evening, Kyle.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera.
New
Welcome
ending
back
right
to
here.
Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Boom.
Kyle continued. I am your host, Santa Claus. I
Is
am
this a
here to
YouTube
bring
thing?
you
Yeah, it is.
Christmas cheer.
Okay.
Kyle put his notes down and looked at Rachel.
Oh, I didn't make a list today.
Said
Yeah,
Rachel,
refrain
not
from
understanding.
Snoop.
It's not something to joke about, Rachel,
His voice
said Kyle. I
is
take
deeper than
being
normal.
Santa very seriously.
I am Santa.
And I take you very seriously, Kyle, said Rachel, trying to play along. I am not Kyle, said Kyle. I am Santa Claus. In an effort to convince Rachel of his Santa nature, Kyle hacked a present out of his mouth into his hand.
See? I am Santa Claus.
Kyle pushed the soggy present into Rachel's
Gross.
lap. Rachel looked slightly unsettled, but reached her hand to undo the bow on top.
Yeah, it's a present of a hairball.
Said Kyle, slamming his hand on top of Rachel's. You can't open it until Christmas. Rachel decided to play along.
What in the world?
I'm sorry, Santa, said Rachel matteredly. Do you happen to have your naughty and nice list with you? I want to know where I stand.
I forgot about that.
Kyle realized he had not written his naughty and nice list. Trying to save face, Kyle retaliated.
Uh-oh.
Well, a real Santa doesn't need a list because he has it all up here. Kyle tapped on his head a few times.
That's right.
Rachel was unconvinced. Kyle, one of Santa's only defining characteristics is having a naughty and nice list. Don't take it away from him.
I am Santa.
Kyle began to doubt if he had truly
Aw.
experienced a Christmas miracle or not.
You mean saving all the elves from the Gummy Claymore dimension was not a Christmas miracle?
Rachel, he said, I have to be Santa. Why's that, Kyle? Rachel looked at him sweetly.
Oh, hi,
Because
Archie.
earlier today I birthed
buddy.
thousands of elves from my very flesh, said Kyle. Here, I'll do it again.
Gross.
Kyle tried to produce more elves from his skin. What Kyle did not know is that he had not produced the elves from a Christmas miracle.
This is so gross.
In fact, Kyle had been infested by the mother elf who had laid her eggs in his stomach for incubation.
Yes.
Irritated by the commotion, the mother elf burst out of Kyle's mouth, screeching her war cry.
Uh-huh.
Pandemonium ensued as the mother elf aggressively attacked all present.
Present. Nice one. Good one.
Rachel drew a blunt weapon from her pant leg and started to beat the elf monster senseless.
Why does Rachel have a blunt weapon in her pant leg?
Eventually,
Maybe it's a
the
fake
mother
leg.
elf had taken enough. With a parting screech, she scurried out of the studio to find a new host.
Yeah, Helmet, this is practically a study.
Nobody quite knew what to do next, so nobody did anything. Eventually, Kyle addressed the audience.
What in the world is he going to say?
Everybody, he said, I don't think I'm Santa Claus. The producer shut the cameras off, and
that's
everyone
the end
went
of
home.
this show. You
Kyle
carry a blunt water
continued
bottle?
the coming days as normal, but vetted his diet much more carefully.
It was the mother elf. That's the only ending. There's nothing about Kyle. Start the day as Santa Claus. We got to write the list.
Kyle
Because
knew
then
he
we won't
must
attempt-
construct his naughty and nice list. He began to think of all of the people in his life.
Okay, Gabby.
Kyle thought of Gabby.
Let's do Gabby nice, because otherwise we'll get beat up.
Kyle thought of Rachel.
Has Gabby been spying on us? Are there hidden cameras? Because Gabby only attacked us when we put her on the naughty list. Let's make Rachel on the naughty list because I think she's guilty of something.
Kyle thought of Techno Jim.
Yeah, Techno Jim.
Kyle thought of Kyle.
Nice.
Kyle ripped his list out of his notebook.
That only took 2 hours. So let's also write notes for the interview. Are you a mother?
Kyle-
Beef.
Third,
Funniest story.
Kyle wrote
And
down his last
are you
question.
guilty?
Kyle,
Because it might come up. Maybe not, but let's check. Choose an outfit,
Kyle-
Santa suit. Scavenge for elves. That's enough elves. Now let's go make some cookies.
Kyle thought,
And we'll do it with the
Yo.
Leviathan sprinkles. Perfect timing. So that does count as food.
Good evening, Kyle, she said,
No
looking
more
him in
elves.
the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle.
Okay,
After-
ready?
A
And we
moment
will
after
become
seating, the
Santa
studio
Claus.
lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, Good evening, Kyle continued. I am your host, Santa Claus.
I love it.
I am here to bring you Christmas cheer. Kyle put his notes down and looked at Rachel.
Because I have notes. I mean, it said that before.
It's not something to joke about, Rachel, said Kyle. I take being Santa very seriously. And I take you very seriously, Kyle, said Rachel, trying to play along.
Right, Kyle?
I am not Kyle, said Kyle. I am Santa Claus.
Produce the present.
In an effort to convince Rachel of his Santa nature, Kyle hacked a present out of his mouth into his hand.
Lovely.
Kyle pushed the soggy present into Rachel's lap.
Right.
Rachel looked...
Okay, we've done this.
I'm sorry, Santa, said Rachel matterly.
This will be new.
Do you happen to have your naughty and nice list with you? I want to know where I stand.
Yes.
Yeah, said Kyle, pulling out his list. You don't rank well. Rachel was visibly taken aback. Oh? Said Rachel. Why's that, Kyle? Cause you suck.
Imagine meeting Santa Claus. You're on the naughty list. You don't know why. Cause you suck.
Kyle made no attempt to try to frame his comment as a joke. He stared at Rachel expressionlessly. Well, Kyle, said Rachel, being that I am Santa Claus, I'm not sure you have the authority to say that. Rachel pulled her own naughty and nice list out of her pocket. Kyle's blood ran cold. And you, Kyle, said Rachel, are getting awfully close to switching to the naughty list.
What is happening?
She raised a pen menacingly.
I have no idea what's happening.
No. Rachel, no, said Kyle. Don't do that! Rachel held her mouth open in a maniacal smile and drew the pen slightly closer to her list. Kyle dived across the stage, nabbing at Rachel's hands to try to steal away either the list or her pen. A fist fight between the two ensued. Blows were given to the face of each with equal gusto.
What is happening? Two Santas
After
fighting.
several minutes of being slightly amused, the producer thought it may be better to end the broadcast.
All right.
As the lights shut off and the studio closed, Kyle and Rachel were still locked in combat, neither backing down.
My camera preview just shut off right when it said the lights shut off. It was like, and my camera preview shut off. That was crazy.
Who between the two was the true Santa was never figured out.
It's me.
But indeed,
I have the elf mother
the true
inside me.
Santa was involved in a fistfight and did not deliver any presents.
Oh.
It was the worst
Santa
Christmas
rap battle?
ever.
Oh, man. Change jobs, embrace the Christmas spirit. So we did not need the elves. Open the closet, choose an outfit, Santa suit. Gabby is nice.
Kyle thought of Rachel.
Rachel's nice. Techno's nice. Kyle is nice. Make the cookies.
Kyle thought it would... Soon, he had narrowed it down to... Kyle placed...
Weird crunching. Now we can go on Santa duties. Awesome.
Kyle realized it was wise to conduct his duties as Santa.
Should give presents to children, right?
Kyle could think of nothing better than to gather children around him and give them presents. Kyle supposed it was possible there were children in the nearby park, so he quickly walked over. Upon arriving, Kyle saw several families happily walking around and playing in the snow.
Oh, it's snowing now.
Kyle called for the families to gather around him. The children bounced over expectantly. Kyle presented the children with a gift.
I don't have any gifts for them. Maybe I would have had to like take the elf bag with me or something. Let's try wisdom.
Children, it is time to listen to Santa.
I don't know where this is going.
The children leaned in eagerly. I have lived a long and full life, said Kyle, and seen many things no man could imagine. From the many experiences I've had and people I've met, I feel qualified to give you this piece of wisdom.
We should be worried.
Kyle coughed into his hand and took a deep breath. Don't feed your girlfriend sea monkeys on the first date. There may not be a second.
What?
The children stared at Kyle blankly. Kyle screamed and began tearing at his stomach.
Oh,
More
no.
elves were on their way out. In a sudden explosion, elves flew out of Kyle's skin, covering the group in hungry, crawling elf flesh.
Ew.
The parents were whipped into a frenzy of frantically pulling elves off their children and themselves.
That's so gross.
The elves, suddenly free and ravenous, bit at the parents' hands with their teeth and screamed at the top of their lungs.
Oh my goodness.
Kyle, uncomfortable with the situation, decided to leave.
Just get out of there, Kyle.
On his way home, Kyle greeted everyone he passed. It had been a lovely evening. Inside his door, he stopped and smiled. Kyle knew he had done something wonderful for the children in his community.
Kyle gifted wisdom. Let's keep trying Santa Claus. Leave the apartment, visit the tech store. Spread Christmas cheer in the tech store, yeah.
Kyle grabbed the attendant and shook him. Merry Christmas! Screamed Kyle, very intently. The attendant looked very much like he wanted Kyle to stop.
He's still shaking him.
Kyle gave one last shake, a jolly smile, and considered the job well done.
Very good.
Kyle hurried to the set.
We spread Christmas cheer to one person.
Santa, said Rachel matteredly. Do you happen to have your naughty and nice list with you?
Yes.
Yeah, I do, said Kyle, pulling out his list. You're on the nice list.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Santa, said Rachel. What a nice surprise.
See, she's surprised because she expects to be on the naughty list.
Kyle was suspicious. Is it a surprise? He asked, raising his eyebrows.
I am Kyle.
Rachel coughed. Of course it isn't. I'm nice. Always on the nice list.
Okay.
So if that's the case, I want to try something.
Kyle. I'm spoiling it, man.
So, if I put you on the naughty list, will you turn into a bad person? Like, can I control your morality?
Dude, that's crazy.
Before Rachel could answer, Kyle crossed her off of the nice list and added her name to the naughty list. Immediately, something changed.
I have superpowers.
Rachel jumped out of her seat in a blind rage and began trashing the studio, laughing horribly.
Oh, no.
Kyle, suddenly curious, began adding other names of people he knew to the naughty list.
Oh, that's why Gabby beat us up instantly, because she got turned naughty. I wonder what happens if we put ourselves on the naughty list when we write it.
Friends, family, and acquaintances of Kyle began bursting through the walls, ceiling, and floor, fire in their eyes.
Dude.
It did not take long for the studio to fall into complete ruins.
That's some Santa magic right there.
Kyle was fascinated by the results of his actions. Kyle wrote a dissertation on the effects of Santa on adults and was published in many psych journals.
Okay.
As research branched off of Kyle's findings, Kyle began to be known as much for his scientific findings as his talk show.
Good job, Kyle.
Somehow, Kyle had become extra famous.
Kyle is extra famous. Amazing. Oh, we unlocked the Santa background. 1 second. There, it's nice and dark, too. Let's do the pen again. Skip. Change jobs, embrace the Christmas spirit. Skip.
Kyle,
start the day. Here we go. We can probably do an evil techno gym ending. But let's do nice, and we'll make ourselves naughty. Go on Santa duties. Spread Christmas cheer.
Kyle knew that one of his duties as Santa must be to spread Christmas cheer.
Absolutely. And the best way to spread Christmas cheer is...
As he met others walking
that would work
along the
better
sidewalk,
if I was on voice chat with someone.
Surely they would feel Christmas cheer. After several streets, Kyle stopped skipping.
I'm just skipping around everywhere.
Nobody had burst into Christmas song. Nobody had wished him a Merry Christmas.
Singing loud for all to hear. Being Santa.
Kyle realized he would need to spread Christmas cheer more aggressively.
Uh-oh.
Kyle walked up to a young couple chatting and laughing amongst themselves.
Uh-oh.
He grabbed the woman by the shoulders and shook her lightly.
Just lightly. Just lightly.
Listen to me! He screamed. It's Christmas time! The couple left quickly. Kyle, not dissuaded, ran into the street, stopping a car with his hands.
Oh, man. Aggressively.
It's Christmas! Tell your family I love them! Kyle shouted, banging his fists on the car hood. Kyle's method still proved ineffective. He realized that if he were to be a proper Santa, he must not hold back.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Kyle started slamming his forehead into the car hood repeatedly, flailing his arms in the air.
He said calmly.
It is time for presents! Kyle emphasized each word with percussion from his face.
Every time.
Suddenly, Kyle was blessed with another Christmas miracle.
Is the elf mother gonna come out?
Kyle's neck shot directly upwards, throwing his mouth towards the sky.
I'm pretty sure.
Slowly, painfully, a live reindeer began to emerge from his throat.
I forgot about that reindeer I swallowed whole the other day.
It was not one reindeer. It was several. Kyle began to run around, arms waving, desperately trying to find a way of dislodging the animals emerging from him.
Oh, no.
In a sudden, forceful moment, reindeer after reindeer explosively shot out of Kyle's mouth.
And all the others.
The stream did not stop there. Every orifice of Kyle's face began shooting wrapped presents of all sizes in every direction.
I would not like to be Santa Claus.
Kyle, unaware of what to do, spun in all directions and screamed.
You guys thought it was the elves making the presents. No, Santa sacrifices much of his body every year for presents to shoot out of every orifice.
The presents flew far into the air, landing into the laps of the children of the world. Within a period of minutes, Kyle had managed to give the world his Santa-ly gifts.
Santa-ly gifts.
Eventually, the present spewing stopped. Kyle fell to the ground.
Oh my goodness, what is happening?
He crawled his way back to his apartment and lay down. Kyle did not remember about his interview with Rachel.
I mean, I would have forgotten too. Kyle spread cheer. Is it true that people are nicer in Canada? Or is that a myth that Canada has spread to the rest of the world?
He slowly put his hands to his eye.
It's a myth.
And walked over to
myth
receipt.
Busted. Put it on the thing. Busted. Editor. That's me. I don't know how to do that.
The moment after
putting ourselves on the naughty list didn't seem to have any effect. We got to release the elves.
Kyle dumped his bag of elves onto the ground.
There we go. I'm glad we got them all.
The elves silently looked around them, stunned by the sudden change of environment.
Yeah, instead of inside my stomach.
The silence did not last long. The elves began tearing about, screaming Christmas carols and looking for food.
Oh my goodness.
Ravenously, they devoured every crumb, piece of trash, and bit of roadkill they could find on Kyle's street.
I'm gonna burn myself. I think that has more to do with the teachers being stupid rather than mean. Oh boy. Okay, that's good. They're cleaning up the streets.
It was not nearly enough to satisfy them. They began to branch out to nearby streets.
These are raccoons.
The elves could not be satiated. They began to swipe food out of the hands of nearby restaurant goers.
That's not good.
Like a flood, the elves took over Kyle's city. Houses were broken into, streets were blocked.
This is not good.
Within minutes, there wasn't a scrap of food left in the city.
Kyle caused a famine.
Driven by a hunger lust, the elves started gnawing their way through walls, devouring buildings from the top down.
These are nanobots.
The government's defense measures were brought in to attempt to stop the wave of elves.
There's no stopping them.
In a flurry of rage, the elves launched themselves directly towards their enemy. There was a grand clash of bullets and teeth.
Kyle. Good job, Kyle.
The elves clamped themselves firmly onto the soldiers.
Oh, no.
Hunks of metal and bulletproof jackets were torn asunder by the elf mouths. The army's equipment and weapons were systematically swallowed.
Yeah, see, this is a good example of the question, would you rather fight one 300-pound monkey or 300 one-pound monkeys? This is 300 one-pound monkeys.
There was nothing left to stop the elves from consuming every last material from the earth.
Oh boy.
Nothing except Kyle himself.
Oh boy.
Kyle planted himself in front of the elf mob menacingly.
Not raccoons.
The elves launched themselves into the air, flying at Kyle teeth first and screaming Christmas cheer.
Christmas cheer!
With cat-like speed, he started grabbing elves out of the air and shoving them into his mouth.
Oh.
Kyle swallowed elves at a frightening pace. He grabbed them with both hands from his legs as they tried to climb up. Kyle's stomach began to bulge with elf mass, but he did not slow down.
This is so weird.
As suddenly as it had started, the flurry of elves ended. Kyle had swallowed them all.
Oh.
Kyle became a national icon of Homeland Defense.
The elves have literally eaten everything in the world. Every resource in the world.
The world began to refer to Kyle among the great history figures of humanity.
Oh.
Kyle was preemptively awarded the next 2 Nobel Peace Prizes. His name became synonymous with safety and joy.
I love how I caused this disaster, and I cleaned it up, and now I get Nobel Peace Prizes.
Kyle spent the next few days hunched over the toilet, packing elves out one by one and flushing them into the sewer.
That's not good.
The elves formed an underground society in the belly of the city, living happily in peace away from humanity.
Ah. Kyle released the elves. We can check the pantry.
Kyle wanted...
Unlock it.
The pantry... Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard.
We can grab the lard.
Kyle
We never figured out what to do with the bottle of lard once we had it.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in, said Kyle.
Okay, this is gonna be a normal ending.
Dive right into this bottle, that is. Kyle pulled out his bottle of lard, bit the top off, and chugged it. Kyle's body rejected the lard. He began to spew chunks of lard and digestive fluid in every direction.
The amount of times that Kyle's body spews something, too many times.
Everything within a 10-foot radius was immediately covered, including Rachel.
Ah, poor Rachel.
Kyle continued to vomit. Rachel bravely fought to stay seated amidst the vomit, hoping to save the show from disaster.
Oh, Rachel, you're an angel.
Unfortunately, Kyle's vomit had covered all of the cameras.
Gross.
There was no broadcast.
It was just one jar of lard, too.
Kyle finished spewing, eventually.
Must have been a big jar.
The broadcast was not recoverable. All present were sent home to try again another day. As Kyle got home, he made a mental note to refill his lard supply.
Gross. Kyle consumed. What about giving the claymore to people? Oh, maybe. We'll grab the claymore. Yep. And go to the park. Santa duties,
Kyle
give presents to children.
It was wise to conduct his duties as Santa.
Become Leviathan.
Kyle could think of nothing better than to gather children around him and give them presents.
All I got is a laser claymore
Supposed it was possible
and an
there
artifact.
were children in the nearby park, so he quickly walked over. Upon arriving, Kyle saw several families happily walking around and playing in the snow.
You know what else he didn't do anything with is the bugs. We never figured out what to do with the bugs.
Kyle called for the families to gather around him. The children bounced over expectantly. Kyle presented the children with a gift.
Helmet. Helmet, you're amazing.
Kyle produced the laser claymore and wordlessly handed it to the closest child. The child's eyes widened in excitement, and a wondrous grin crossed his face.
Helmet, was this actually just you as a child? Kyle dressed as Santa Claus gave you a laser claymore?
Before anyone could react, the child began swinging wildly with both arms. The child's parents made an attempt to grab the child, but he quickly ran in the opposite direction, still swinging. As the child ran through the park, the claymore cut through benches, trees, and the ground itself.
It's just a lightsaber.
A path of destruction was formed. The child continued to run at full speed, entering the rest of the city.
I mean, it is a child speed, but still.
He reached the side of a building, but did not stop. Through his wild swings, the claymore cut a hole through the wall.
Oh, no.
Within minutes, the city was in a panic as a small child systematically crashed in and out of every building he could.
You gotta have a system when you're rampaging through the
rampage
city.
continued as the city residents looked on helplessly,
#1 Beat Saber
accepting
player.
that this would be the end of their livelihood. Soon, there was no area in the city left unmarred. Destruction was rampant. Traffic was at a standstill.
Yeah, what do you do with it when a kid has a
Buildings
laser
toppled to the
claymore?
ground. The power grid was destroyed. The city was in shambles.
Dude, he was running full speed, kid speed the entire time. You know how long it would take a kid to run through a city like LA? Oh man.
Kyle was unsure how to react.
He's just standing in the park all day watching the city crumble
He
when this
eventually
kid's
looked at the
running
child's
around.
parents. They were giving him a stern and slightly irritated look. Presents are what you make of them, he said. Your child is pure evil. Kyle walked away, feeling a little sheepish.
Your child is pure evil.
The destruction of the city brought about a new wave of apocalypse tourism like nobody had seen before. The city's economy flourished. Kyle's city became a travel hotspot for the rest of the world.
There you go. All we got to do is break down our
Somehow,
city with a
Kyle
laser
felt
claymore
little
child.
Unfulfilled. He had tried to do something lovely for the children, yes.
Oh, this
and
is the
city
unlock
economy
ending.
was flourishing. But had he really helped anyone?
Yeah, because Kyle's been trying to help someone the
continued
whole
through the
time.
next few weeks, picking through the rubble on the sidewalks and feeling restless. Soon, the city was rebuilt with the income from the tourists. Shiny new buildings were erected. Restaurants opened.
But then the tourists leave.
Kyle watched the city regrow.
Aw.
He felt a strange pang in his stomach.
Aw.
Kyle was on the brink of a new
Yeah.
chapter in his life.
Oh, thank you for the lurk, Pink Ninja. Gifted a claymore. Kyle is detective. Maybe we'll actually be able to help someone now. Change
Kyle thought very
jobs.
carefully about the first move of his day.
Become a detective.
Kyle was struck with an uncomfortable thought. Lying here, he wondered, what am I accomplishing? Am I furthering my goals? Am I making a difference in the world? Am I helping anyone? Kyle was suddenly gripped with a cold fear.
He's so cute. Oh.
Was Kyle living his life well? Would anyone care when he was gone? Was Kyle worthwhile?
Oh, it's too real. Guys, don't you just lay in bed and ask yourself the same thing? You know when you're like not sleepy at night, but you know you gotta go to bed because you're tired of playing video games and you're just like, what am I doing with my life?
He shot up from his lying position, breathing heavily.
Become a detective.
Kyle looked around his room, wondering where all the fear had come from. But something had gripped him, something meaningful, something important. Kyle realized that it was time to fulfill his duty to society.
Fulfill your duty to society. Become a detective.
He would serve the city through deduction. He would serve by providing answers.
There you go.
Kyle decided
hey,
that
Lightning Wolf, welcome.
Would be a detective.
You've never thought of that until now? Oh, sorry, Leviathan.
Kyle stepped out of bed, knowing he must direct himself to the city hall to get started immediately.
Am I just gonna be like, yo, I'm Kyle, and I'm here to solve crime? And they're like, all right, what's up, Kyle? Lightning Wolf, how you doing? It's been a while.
Today, Kyle would try his best at being a detective.
Here we go. Okay, let's see what we got. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
What's this bed?
Kyle donned a dusty detective suit.
Oh, what's this
complete
game?
With a pipe and an old ascot cap.
Oh, nice. Let's see what we can do. Oh, we only can check the desk drawer. We gotta have a magnifying glass.
Kyle.
We gotta. Okay. Back to the room. Let's scavenge for clues.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for... Kyle lay in the middle of his room, spread his arms wide, and just kinda basked in being a detective.
I am a detective. I solve crimes.
After a moment, Kyle was done basking.
I answer mysteries.
He continued with his day.
That no one knows the answer to. Okay, we've done all the stuff in the room. Oh, there's no secret door. So, kitchen. Grab tasting helmet or be a detective. Yeah, this game is super weird.
Kyle spread his arms wide and basked greatly in being a detective.
I am a detective.
It felt wonderful. It felt right. Kyle knew that being a detective was the right thing to do. Kyle put his hands down and stopped basking in being a detective.
All right, those are waste of times. Grab the tasting helmet.
Kyle grabbed the tasting helmet and put it over his head.
Shunk. All right, walk to the center of the kitchen. Well, might as well
Kyle
make breakfast.
Opened the fridge, intending to...
Breakfast, let's eat it. All right, good breakfast, good breakfast. Leave the apartment and be a detective.
Kyle spread his arms wide and absolutely basked in being a detective. He began to spin, loving every second of the time he spent basking.
Oh my goodness.
From basking about being a detective too much, Kyle melted.
We melted again.
Suddenly, as a pile, Kyle was no longer able to be a detective.
Last time we melted, it was turning into a hot
Kyle
dog.
sadly decided that he would have to give up on his ravenous want to serve the city and instead fight to survive as a sticky inhabitant. Kyle lived his days as a puddle, buying groceries, visiting with friends, and taking Sunday naps. It was a tough life, but a fulfilling one. Kyle made friends, paid bills, and donated to charity.
Yeah.
He never forgot his dream of inspiring the city with his detective skills.
Kyle is everyone.
But
Kyle is you.
remained a melted individual
Kyle
forever.
is me. Kyle is all of us. And we are nothing. Okay, Kyle basked. Oh, what if we can investigate Gabby?
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked.
The vigilante, the bug
woman
vigilante.
named Gabby answered the door. Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly.
Kyle is God. Oh, dear.
Gabby asked Kyle, tell me about yourself.
Oh,
Gabby stiffened. You know.
Another day had passed.
A cold breeze ran through the darkened streets of the city. A dark figure ran from shadow to shadow.
What? Why would he consume Gabby?
And then, suddenly, he was gone.
Kyle waited too long. Let's become a detective again. Go downtown. We can't even visit the tech store anymore. Let's see what's in the dollar store. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Kyle crumpled on the floor in tears. He cried passionately.
Oh, no.
He cried desperately. Kyle continued to cry with everything he had.
Now it's too real. You just go in a dollar store and cry.
Then Kyle was done. He got off the floor and left the store.
It's like that guy that went in the library and cried, and then his alarm went off, and he just stopped, got up, and left. Free samples. You know we got to do free samples.
Said Kyle. Assuming I didn't have any money, what sort of samples would you give me? The attendant looked at Kyle blankly. Dude, just go. Like, get some change from the dryer or something.
Oh, we can bring our spare change here.
Kyle nodded blankly and, after a moment, left the store.
But was that an option? I don't know if that was an option. Oh, okay. Gotta check the hatch.
Kyle knelt down to inspect a hatch on the floor. It seemed to be locked with a small keyhole.
Okay, maybe we'll see if we can get the small key. Detective's office. I am a detective.
Hello, everyone! Shouted Kyle. I am your newest detective. I have spoken.
There we go.
The office was completely silent. Nobody came out of their offices. The secretary did not look up. After a few minutes of waiting, Kyle realized this approach was not working.
Not gonna work.
He decided to exit the office before things got too awkward.
Yep. Another day
had
passed. Let's see what's in the drawer. Assorted change, and let's do the small key. Let's just go straight downtown. Yes, we are going downtown in our birthday suit, but that's fine. Yeah, visit the dollar store, because we have change now. Buy suction hands or buy magic wipes.
Kyle purchased the magic wipes. The packaging read, made for transporting something to the magic dimension.
We've been there before. And buy suction hands.
Kyle purchased the suction hands. He examined them for a moment, pulling them on and off his hands.
Okay. City Hall. Check the hatch. We have a key
Kyle
now.
knelt down to inspect a hatch on the floor. It seemed to be locked with a small keyhole.
The City Hall hatch is the same key as our pantry.
Kyle inserted the key into the hatch and turned it sharply. With a click, the hatch opened, revealing a dark, musty tunnel leading out of City Hall. Kyle slid into the tunnel. He found that it was vacuum-powered and sucked him quickly into the darkness.
Oh.
Suddenly, Kyle burst through the wall of his apartment hallway. On the floor.
Okay, so it actually was
Kyle had found a new way to get to City Hall.
We just got a shortcut. This is gonna be like a min-max, like use all 60 hours perfectly to do this, I bet. Let's go to the detective office. We have a little more time. Let's talk to the secretary.
Hello, you, said Kyle. I have something very important to ask. The secretary looked up from her paper.
When you approach a secretary, never ask a direct question. Always assert that you're going to ask a question.
Kyle decided what he would ask the secretary.
When did I eat cats?
Kyle bent over the desk and began gurgling cats out of his mouth and into the secretary's lap.
You got to do what you got to do.
She squeaked and began clapping, delighted to see cats running around her office. Soon, cats covered nearly every surface. They scratched at the furniture and mewed for food.
Oh, no.
Kyle went around the room and sucked each cat back into his stomach one by one, clearing the room completely.
That's normal. Totally normal. Yep, totally normal. Let's go to the detective's office and talk to the secretary.
Hello, you. Kyle decided what he would ask the secretary.
Let's ask about becoming detective.
Something really important has come up, said Kyle.
Oh my.
This morning, a mystery was given to me. As I sat in bed, I was struck with a desire, a need. Kyle slammed his palm on the desk. I must become a detective. Justice must come to this city.
Yeah.
The secretary looked at Kyle blankly. Okay, she said. Detectives must go through the standard application process before being sanctioned.
Boring.
The secretary opened her desk and handed Kyle a sheet of paper with a list of questions on it.
Oh, we get to answer.
Kyle looked over the list, gave an understanding nod to the secretary, and sat on the floor to start writing.
Just right in front of her desk.
Question 1. When you are examining a crime scene, what should you wear on your hands?
Cats, or gloves or cats. Gloves or cats.
Question 2. After investigating a crime scene, detectives should file a report to...
Jerry the hot dog boy.
Question 3. If you find a body in the middle of the street, you...
Report to Jerry the hot dog boy.
Question 4. Jerry the hot dog boy has committed a heinous crime with a lot of evidence. Is he guilty?
No, he couldn't be.
Question 5. You have been made into a detective. what is the first thing you do?
Eat the criminals.
Kyle got up from the floor and gave his test back to the secretary for review.
I've got a good feeling about this.
The secretary checked Kyle's work carefully. She smiled. This looks spot on.
Spot on, buddy.
The secretary scrawled a red check mark with a plus on top of the paper and handed it back to Kyle.
Amazing. Guys, we're so good at this game.
You, Kyle, have officially been accepted as a detective of the city.
Can we bask now?
Kyle understood that he had been given a great honor.
No basking.
He nodded stoically.
Stoic nodding.
The secretary placed a detective ID and a thick sheet of paper in Kyle's hand.
Hey!
This is your ID. I'll notify Mayor Tom that you'll be arriving in his office to get assigned a case.
Seems kind of corrupt that Jerry the hot dog
needs
man
a hero
can't
like
be
you.
accused of
You
crime.
must live up to the expectations set upon you.
Wow, I gotta sit up straight for this. Now go consume Gabby.
Kyle exited City Hall.
We'll
The air
consume
was
Gabby on the
brisk,
next run.
Full of excitement and energy.
Ooh.
Kyle realized that tomorrow he would need to start his detective
Mayor
journey.
Tom's probably guilty. Yeah.
Crime, villainy, dastardly deeds.
All right,
Kyle
Leviathan,
would
thanks for
combat
coming
them
by.
all. Kyle had officially started his job as a detective.
So we permanently have this ID now. Let's talk to the secretary.
Hello, you. Said,
More
Kyle
important question.
decided
I can
what he would ask
resign.
the
I can
secretary.
resign. Oh no. Let's talk about Mayor
Can I ask you about
Tom.
Mayor Tom? Asked Kyle. He seems like an interesting man.
Mayor Tom? He's the mayor. He's everything that you'd expect, I guess.
Did he hire
The
Gabby,
secretary
my
leaned in
neighbor,
close.
as a bug
Want to
vigilante?
know something strange? He spends a lot of time behind City Hall.
Behind City Hall.
But even when I go out to check on him, he's not there. It's the strangest thing.
Another shortcut, perhaps?
The secretary leaned back in her chair.
Okay.
Kyle decided what he would ask the secretary.
Let's talk about the city.
What do you know about the city?
Go to
Asked
the
Kyle.
mayor to get a
Is there
case.
anything
Okay.
particularly interesting going on?
Not really.
Said the secretary.
We've always had a bit of a crime problem, but that's not really new.
Yeah, every city's got a little bit of
It
crime.
seems that most of the crime in
cities
the
have a lot
city
of
is
crime.
coming from two bosses. One known for larceny and the other, well, everything.
What? Oh no.
But I suppose
One
that's
steals
mostly
things and one does the
speculation, isn't it?
rest.
The secretary smiled.
Nah, you seem to know more than you're
Kyle
letting
decided
on.
what he would ask the secretary.
Okay, go back to City Hall. Mayoral office.
Kyle entered the mayoral office.
I think he's not going to be here.
Mayor Tom sat behind his
I keep
desk.
hearing
He
Major
had been
Tom.
expecting Kyle's appearance.
Oh, hi, Mayor Tom.
Kyle had forgotten
I don't even have water.
clothes before talking to the mayor.
I forgot to put on clothes before talking to the mayor.
Mayor Tom looked at Kyle with large, sad eyes. This was not a problem he had wanted to deal with today.
He's just sitting there like, I did not want to have to tell my newest detective to wear clothes on the first day to work.
Mayor Tom sadly removed a large stick from under his desk and began to beat Kyle
He
senseless.
just beats him.
Ouch! Said Tom. Ouch! Ouch! Kyle decided he would need to leave. Over the rest of the day, Kyle tried to re-enter the mayoral office several times.
Still not putting clothes
Eventually,
on.
Mayor Tom moved his desk to cover the door to his office, preventing either enter or exit. Mayor Tom found he was unable to access the necessities of life, like food and water. Mayor Tom withered away, leaving the city in a state of unmanaged chaos.
Forgot you can wither away in this universe for like
Cars began
in like
spinning
2
on their
hours.
axles. Without will, men and women started contorting into balls and swirls. The very air vibrated.
Yeah.
The only force that had kept the laws of physics in Kyle's city from devolving into entropy was the solid ruling of Mayor Tom.
Dude, don't mess with Mayor Tom.
Kyle realized it had probably been a good thing that he had not gotten the chance to be part of the city rule. It was a large responsibility,
goodness.
wasn't it? Keeping everything organized, making good choices. Kyle wistfully thought back to Mayor Tom. He smiled. Kyle had a new respect for Mayor Tom. He was an excellent man. He had done well for the city.
Warlord
Kyle's
paid
features
for it
began to
anyways.
fold into themselves, pressing and stretching into hundreds of newfound directions.
Excuse me?
Kyle had indeed made a difference in the world.
Wow. Well, I caused chaos. I killed Mayor Tom. Let's wear clothes. Choose an outfit,
decided-
detective garb, and we will go to the city hall. Go to the mayoral office.
Kyle
This is how
Mayor
it's supposed
Tom
to be.
sat behind his desk. He had been expecting Kyle's appearance.
You're looking at how to get some of the endings, and they're
Detective
amazing.
Kyle,
Said Mayor Tom.
Oh.
I'm glad you are here today.
Wow, he has a deeper voice than Kyle.
Our city is plagued with villainy and crime. However, there are but a few investigations worthy of your time.
Okay.
Mayor Tom placed a few pieces of paper on the desk in front of him. Kyle rifled through the cases to decide which he would investigate this evening.
The mystery of the Bug Vigilante.
Kyle nodded. There's no question. I know exactly
Got a
what
case.
mystery to investigate this evening.
Okay, yeah, the bugs. The bugs. Hey, thank you for rating. That's so fun. Did you
Mayor
just go
Tom
start a
looked at Kyle
stream
sadly.
and then
Excellent. All
come
of
on
our
over
hope
with a
is
viewing
riding
party
on
of
you.
one?
Don't
I
let us
appreciate it.
down.
Thank you. It's fun. Okay, all our hope is riding on you. Don't let us
Kyle
down.
exited Mayor Tom's office to prepare for his evening of investigation.
Well, we can just go to the bedroom and scavenge for gossip
Kyle firm.
because
Well,
now we know who the Bug
there was a
Vigilante is. So now we exit the bedroom and go confront Gabby.
Kyle approached.
Uh-huh.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Start the conversation.
Good morning, neighbor.
Oh, you
said
need
Kyle
keycaps?
cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly.
Okay.
Gabby asked Kyle, "Are you the Bug Vigilante?"
It didn't work.
For a moment, Gabby looked stunned, but then she realized his seriousness. Gabby nodded once. The door shut in Kyle's face.
Okay, so we got our evidence,
Kyle
right?
decided it was time to investigate the mystery of the Bug Vigilante.
The one, oh, one is
Mayor
a perfect
Tom
run.
requested that
Yeah.
Kyle meet him at City Hall to begin their discussion
I
of the
bet
Bug
I
Vigilante.
bet you have to have like all the stuff in order already and then do like a perfect time machine jump back to the start and then do I bet it's
Kyle arrived at the requested
I
time.
don't think we'll get to it.
Mayor Tom
We'll see.
sat behind his desk, looking pensively at the wall. Mayor Tom turned around.
Good evening, Kyle. Please take a seat. We have much to discuss.
Kyle took a seat in front of Mayor Tom's desk. Mayor Tom spoke.
The Bug Vigilante, a symbol of our city. Hero, villain, it's unclear as to which side this rogue bends their actions.
Now we can probably investigate Rachel.
Many in this city see our Bug Vigilante as a hero, but I view them as the worst sort of villain.
This music is kind of loud.
From this point,
Said Mayor Tom.
I want to launch a grand investigation against the Bug Vigilante and bring them to justice.
Okay, J. Jonah Jameson.
Your best is expected. It is vital that the Vigilante doesn't interfere with my
Mayor Tom coughed.
mayoral duties.
Okay. Well, let's rat on Gabby and see what happens. This might change the whole game.
Kyle raised his hand.
He raised his hand.
Yes, Kyle?
Said Mayor Tom.
Did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes.
Yeah, said Kyle. I know who the Bug Vigilante is. Does that change the nature of this investigation?
Yeah. Mayor Tom looking sus for
Mayor
sure.
Tom looked at Kyle, his mouth hanging open a small bit. It's my neighbor Gabby, continued Kyle. I mean, if you want, I can call her right now.
Oh my goodness. 4 ads.
Mayor
Oh,
Tom
sorry.
ran past Kyle and out of the office. Kyle heard him shouting to some detectives that he needed help.
Lurk. Thank you for
When
the
the
lurk.
detectives and Mayor Tom arrived at Gabby's apartment, the door was ajar.
Got to get them points when you're not around.
Everything inside had completely vanished, including Gabby herself.
Gabby's gone.
The detective force scanned the area for any signs of the Bug Vigilante, but found nothing. Gabby had escaped.
Okay.
Over the next few months, warrants were put across the city for any sighting of Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby
However,
was
she
super
was never
stealthy.
seen.
Okay, we probably have to consume Gabby.
The Bug Vigilante slowly faded from the public mind. Eventually, not even Mayor Tom was looking for her. Kyle continued his detective work. He was proud for having solved such a high-profile case.
Solved it. Boom, first
But
day.
deep down, Kyle felt like he had missed something very important.
Oh. Let's scavenge for gossip. Let's see
Kyle
what
quickly
happens.
crouched down.
So we have the gossip. Let's put clothes on.
Kyle just...
Let's go downstairs to Gabby,
Kyle...
and we will consume Gabby.
Kyle unhinged.
Boom.
Job done. Kyle returned to the middle of the street.
Gulp. Okay, now we'll go downtown. And we'll go to City Hall, visit the mayoral office. Yep. Bug Vigilante.
It is vital that the vigilante doesn't interfere with...
Oh, you gotta go?
Kyle raised his
Alrighty.
hand.
Kyle raised his hand. I love
Yes,
that.
Kyle,
He's just like
said Mayor
sitting
Tom.
right across from the
Did you have
mayor, just
something you
raising his
wanted
hand.
to say? Yeah, said Kyle. I know who the Bug Vigilante is. Does that change the nature of this investigation?
Yeah, if you want, I can puke her up right now. She's in my
Mayor
belly.
Tom looked at Kyle. Everything inside had completely vanished, including Gabby herself.
I have Gabby in my stomach.
The detective force scanned the area for any signs of the Bug Vigilante.
Gabby
but
didn't
found
escape.
Nothing.
This seems like
Gabby
a flaw.
had escaped.
This seems like a flaw.
Over the next few months,
She was never
the Bug
seen.
Vigilante-
They stopped
Kyle
looking for her. He solved
but
a
deep
high-profile
down,
case.
Kyle felt like he had
He had missed something.
very important.
That seems broken. This game is not perfect. No game is perfect. That seems like a huge oversight that like Gabby went missing, but like Gabby's in my stomach. Anyways, let's change jobs. Let's look at the other cases.
Today-
What is the mystery of 1,000 eyes? Okay, let's go back downtown. Let's just talk to people. 1,000 eyes.
Kyle decided to spend some
Oh.
time gathering information
Wait,
from the locals
Rachel's
roaming
here.
around downtown. Kyle entered Rachel May's studio.
Okay.
Oh, Kyle, said Rachel, surprised. It's good to see you. What's up?
Hi.
Kyle decided what he wanted to talk with Rachel about.
Oh.
Rachel, I'm trying to get information on the Bug Vigilante. You wouldn't happen to know anything, would you?
Something just shook our house. Pretty sure there was a
Rachel
a
shifted
gate
her
on the
eyes
back
back
that
and
somebody
forth,
closed.
pretending to look for third-party listeners.
Oh, she knows something.
I hear that whoever it is, they skulk around during the night and do good to whomever they see.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel giggled. I don't really know anything at all. I would ask someone else.
Yeah, it's kind of sus though,
Kyle
Rachel.
decided what he wanted to talk with Rachel about. Would you know anything about a bunch of eyes? I'm told that there's a lot of eyes somewhere.
Oh, she had a lot of eyes on her.
Oh, Kyle,
With the-
said Rachel, putting her hand on his arm. You ask such silly questions. What does that all mean? I'm a
Okay.
little busy right now.
We'll do it.
but
Next
maybe
round-
we can talk more about this at the interview later.
Next
She
round we'll do
smiled
it.
at
So
him.
if you start putting it in the chat, we'll
Since
try
I'm a
it.
detective now, I think I might need to spend my evening doing that.
Ooh, said Rachel. You're all important
and
now and
stuff.
stuff. She.
Good evening, Kyle.
That's okay. We can reschedule for a different time. A time when you're not so important.
But aren't you leaving the country?
Rachel smiled at Kyle once again. Kyle felt just a bit sad he wouldn't be interviewing her that night. Well, go, said Rachel. You've got big things to be taking care of. Kyle nodded and walked back onto the street.
Okay.
It was time. Kyle slowly approached the dusty, rotting mansion that had called into the police. Kyle used the knocker to give 2 sharp raps on the massive front door. The door
Okay.
slowly swung open, revealing a flabby man in a white-stained tank
Is
top.
this the guy? Is this Frank?
The man spoke. Want a beer?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like new lines. That's fine though. Want a beer?
The man leaned forward and started gurgling,
Ooh.
eyeballs slowly oozing out of his
Ooh,
mouth,
no.
nose, and ears.
Oh boy.
Kyle realized that at this moment, his investigation began.
Okay. Well, let's look for clues.
Kyle pushed past the oozing man to look for clues inside the house.
No, don't mind me.
The inner atrium was dotted with bookshelves and rugs. Every surface was filled with trash bags full of vomited eyes.
Ew.
Kyle decided to pick through the man's belongings and see if he could find anything incriminating. Kyle began to open drawers and cupboards, looking briefly at each item they contained. Kyle found notes, flashlights, accounting records, phone numbers for friends, batteries, and many other things.
That sounds like my house.
As Kyle searched, he grabbed items he found interesting and put them in his pocket for later.
Okay.
After several hours of searching, Kyle had found nothing he could arrest anyone for.
I'm pretty sure you can arrest someone for having thousands of
Disappointed,
eyes and
Kyle
trash bags
slowly
in their
walked
house.
out the door, past the vomiting man, and back to his apartment.
I would.
But on his way back,
I
Kyle
would.
realized that his day had not been totally wasted. Kyle's hand dropped to his pocket. Inside were still all of the
Do I get
treasures
to
he had
keep
found
those?
in the man's house. Kyle decided to sell the evidence items to see how much he could get for them. After talking with a few pawn shops, Kyle was able to acquire about $20 for his items.
Nice.
Overjoyed, Kyle decided to make another run to the house to see what else he could find.
I'm looting this guy's house.
Over the rest of the evening, the man's house was slowly drained of everything inside it as Kyle
Best
sold
detective
more and
known
more.
to man.
But once it was emptied, Kyle was not
Oh
satisfied.
no.
Kyle began tearing chunks of the wall out of the house, creating a pile to sell to a nearby lumber company. Piece by piece, Kyle dismantled the entire house, selling its materials as scrap.
It was a
Soon there
productive
was nothing
night.
left. At last, Kyle felt like he had done as much work as he was able to do. He stood looking at the clear space, and he smiled.
Work well
Kyle
done.
walked past the man, still hunching and vomiting, for the last time that day. He patted him on the back.
Patted him on the back. I know it looked like I patted
Kyle
you on
was
the
able
head,
to
but
return home feeling
about
accomplished.
as good as I
He
can
had
do.
done a lot of work that day, and he was tired. Kyle fell onto his pillow and went to sleep immediately.
Can we please be given a wad of cash for this?
He had not solved the mystery of 1,000 eyes.
All right. Kyle sold many things. We could do
cases to
Jerry the hot
decide
dog
which you would
boy or the
investigate
cat.
this
Let's
evening.
do the cat.
It was time to
Sure.
investigate the mystery of I cannot. Kyle traveled to a quiet little cul-de-sac at the edge of town. The streets were barren. A cold breeze
I believe
wandered
them. I
up and
don't
down the
believe them.
pavement,
They're
touching
about as
softly
sus
on
as the
nearby
mayor.
trees and bags. As the sun barely peeked over the horizon, Kyle walked to door number 3092 and knocked. A young woman answered. "Hello there," said Kyle. "I am here to
I thought that was the
investigate a
young
grievance
woman.
we received from this residence,"
Oh, hey,
said the woman.
my name is Anna. I can't find my cat.
Kyle nodded solemnly. "I understand the problem, and I will do everything I can do to help."
Everything I
Kyle
can.
walked inside the house.
Kyle walked outside the house and talked to the neighbors. What's the question, Anna?
Kyle decided to ask Anna a few questions first. "So, Anna," asked Kyle, "what's the name of your cat?" Anna looked away from Kyle's face.
Well, sometimes I call him the bear.
Anna
That's,
idly scratched her arm.
that's weird.
Kyle moved on to his next question.
Is it gonna be a bear?
"When did you last see your cat?" asked,
Oh, that was when I was feeding him last.
said Anna.
A couple days ago, maybe?
What do you feed your cat?
"A couple days," asked Kyle. "How often do you feed him?"
Well, it depends how quickly I can catch the neighbor's pets, if I'm being honest.
Anna stared at the wall. Kyle moved
What?
on to his next question. "What does your cat look like?" asked Kyle, intent.
She feeds the neighbor's pets to her cat.
He's big.
Said Anna.
Really big. He's bigger than you, actually.
Kyle felt like there was something he was missing,
Oh,
but couldn't
man.
quite put his finger on it.
Oh, do we need to do this all over again?
Kyle shrugged off the feeling and decided to think about it more another time.
Okay. That was
"Well,"
red, though.
said Kyle, "I think that's about all I can ask you for now. Can you show me where you feed him?" Anna nodded.
Uh-huh.
She brought Kyle to a large fenced-in area behind her
bear-shaped
house.
hole.
There was a bear-shaped hole in the back,
Missing cat.
I usually feed him in his run,
said Anna.
but I think he saw a raccoon outside and chewed through to get it.
Kyle nodded, because cats often eat raccoons.
Uh-huh. I'm with you,
Well, I
lady.
guess I'll write up a report and see if anyone sees a big cat running around,
Uh-huh.
Thanks, detective.
said Anna.
It would be nice to get him back for, everyone's sake.
Uh-huh.
Kyle left Anna's house and returned to City Hall to
man.
write his report. As he sat writing, Kyle wondered about the nagging feeling in the back of his head that this was related to something else.
Wait, is this related to something else?
Perhaps someday he would return
Was
to
there
this
a
case,
bear in any of the
but
other
not tonight.
endings? I don't remember seeing a bear. Murders by Jerry the hot dog
Kyle
boy.
nodded. "There's no question. I know exactly." Mayor Tom looked.
Okay. And then we can end the day. I almost clicked restart. That would have been a huge
It was
mistake.
time to investigate the alleged crimes of Jerry the hot dog boy. It was a very rainy night. Just as the sun left the sky, Kyle arrived at the scene of the crime.
But we did the quiz. He's not guilty.
Mayor Tom and his secretary were standing inside a tape-marked perimeter.
Oh, both of them.
They were looking at a face-down body surrounded by hot dogs. Photographers recorded the scene.
Can we just appreciate the rain sounds in this game right now for a second? I'm so relaxed.
Neighbor Gabby stood outside the circle, watching idly.
Also, my feet just got really cold for some reason.
Good evening, Detective.
Said Mayor Tom.
I hope you're prepared to start your investigation.
Kyle curled his lip upwards, closed one eye, bit his tongue, and let loose a high-pitched squeak as loudly as he could. After a moment of nothing happening, Mayor Tom moved on.
And then there's less of us
Well,
sitting
this
around
is an
wondering what to
incredibly
do.
important case to our city. I expect only the best from you,
You got it, Mayor.
and also from your partner.
From my partner.
Hello!
Okay.
Rachel May stepped
no
out
worries,
from
no
behind
worries.
Mayor Tom. After you told me that you were spending your evening investigating crime, I got really inspired.
Yeah.
So I talked to the secretary in City Hall and became the second person to pass the detective examination this week.
Rachel, you must be deranged if you
Rachel
pass that
smiled
test.
cheerily. Kyle decided that he was interested in being partners with Rachel.
Okay. Okay.
Rachel, I believe that together we will be able to solve this crime.
Solve it.
Kyle and Rachel nodded at each other.
All right.
After a couple minutes of other chit-chat, Kyle decided to start investigating.
Oh, the tasting helmet. Dang. We don't have the tasting helmet. Let's do Rachel's help.
Suddenly, Kyle realized he had no idea what he was doing.
Rachel,
He whispered, motioning to her.
come over here.
Rachel slid over next to Kyle. What's up? Have you figured something out? Rachel, said Kyle, I don't know what any of this could mean. Do you have any ideas?
Any ideas?
Rachel looked at the body on the ground. Let me see what I can find, she whispered. Rachel began to comb around the scene, looking at each detail twice. After several minutes of searching, Rachel turned around and motioned to the body. Did anyone notice this is a bear?
Oh, here's the bear.
Everyone gasped.
Okay, this is the cat
It's not
thing.
even dead. It's just asleep,
Idiots!
screamed Mayor Tom.
The crimes committed in this city are so amateurish. Where's the excitement? The gravitas?
Oh my goodness.
Mayor Tom
Yeah, I
started
wondered
to
how to get a
scream
working phone,
utter
'cause we
gibberish.
need
He
to call
stalked
a
off the
911.
scene, red in the face and sputtering.
Yeah, so we got to figure out how to fix the phone.
There was a moment of silence. Well, we can catch up with him later, I guess, said Rachel. Here, someone help me with this thing.
The mayor stormed off saying the
Without much
crime wasn't
trouble,
exciting
the remaining
enough.
individuals managed to transplant the bear outside the city.
Okay.
Job done, the team turned to the front of City Hall to debrief a bit from the evening of detective work.
Well, now we found the
The
bear.
group chatted back and forth about how the investigation had gone and what to do next. But they parted ways with a chilly air above them all. It felt as if that night was the start of something much more diabolical.
The start of something much more diabolical. We need to do 1,000 eyes,
Kyle,
end of day, options. And
Kyle
we need to
realized
look
that
for clues.
At this moment, his investigation began.
Become detective and then skip to the end of the day and
Kyle
just do
pushed
nothing.
past the oozing.
Okay, we need to
The
think
inner
like
atrium
Rachel
was
though.
dotted with bookshelves and rugs. Every surface was filled with trash bags full of vomited eyes.
Okay, here we go. Think like Rachel.
Suddenly, Kyle had an idea.
Ding ding ding.
If Rachel were in this situation, Kyle wondered, how would she go about investigating?
I had an idea.
Kyle remembered how Rachel had solved the hot dog murder
This is
by
immensely
looking at the simple
uncomfortable.
clues everyone else had passed by. Kyle decided to do the simplest thing he could think to do. Open the... Inside, facing outwards, was the Jam Man.
Jam Man. Oh, the Jam Man.
Hello!
Has their own
Said the
music.
Jam Man.
Would you like to buy some of my jam?
Hello, said
Sounds
Kyle.
like a boss
Well,
fight
it
coming
depends on
up.
what sort of jam you are selling and at what price,
He's very reasonable.
My jam is famous in all the land,
said the Jam Man.
and that enables me to charge very much.
That's true.
However, alas,
He continued.
many have recently complained that my jam is not what it once was.
Looking at you, brand names.
In a moment of weakness one night, I realized that I could cut costs by adding small amounts of other things to my jam.
Oh no.
And so to the mixture I added a tablespoon of blended rat. The jam was excellent and profits soared.
Oh boy. Dude, this
Clouded
music.
by greed, I began to add more
Oh,
blended
good.
rat into my jam recipe.
Sounds like Lord-
I began making double, triple what I had before.
It sounds like Lord Tourette's from
But
a
one day,
series on
I
YouTube.
went too far.
that I
Just
won't mention.
Over half the jam was of rat. The jam was not great. It was hardly good. And the public noticed.
Oh no.
I
Half
was too
rat.
far gone.
Ugh.
Slowly, the blended rat took over my brand, turning more and more into a staple of my goods.
Why don't you just
So
stop?
here I am,
Said the Jam Man.
sitting in the closet. Will you pardon a jam man his faults and invest in his passion?
Just a thought. Just a thought. You could stop putting blended rats in your jam.
The jam man held up a jar of substance. It seemed to be a slimy paste full of suspect organs and eyes.
Oh, every time you think it doesn't get any worse, it gets worse.
No. The man walked up behind Kyle as the jam man talked. He brushed Kyle aside. The jam man gleefully opened the jar and shoved the contents down the man's throat.
Gross. It's so gross.
Immediately, the man turned around and began to hurl eyeballs onto the floor.
Oh, we did. Kyle became extra famous. Yeah. We solved the case.
Suddenly, Kyle realized.
They're rat eyes. Those are the thousands of eyes.
Said Kyle, plucking the jar from the jam man's hand. The eyes are coming from the rats in this jam!
We solved it.
The jam man scowled at Kyle and made a cry of frustration. You may think you have won, clever detective, said the jam man, but I haven't lost yet.
That's so gross.
The jam man suddenly melted into a jam-like substance, slid under Kyle's legs, and out the door to freedom.
Hey, I could do that too, but with hot dogs. You're not special.
The man and Kyle looked at the space the jam man had been in. There was a silence. There was nothing to say. Eventually, Kyle left the house knowing that the man would vomit eyes no longer.
So this man was willingly consuming many jars of blended rat, vomiting it back up, and wondering what was going on. Not the smartest bulb in the pack.
The case had been solved,
not
but as he
not the sharpest
home,
bulb
Kyle
in the shed.
A bit troubled.
Not the juiciest fruit in the bunch. I don't know.
Kyle was sure the jam man would return.
I have a lot of questions too. Kyle solved the case. Okay, so we've solved the 1,000 eyes. Bug Vigilante.
Kyle nodded.
End of day. Options.
Kyle thought about what his course of action for the investigation would be.
But maybe we can just accuse
Mayor
people.
Tom, said Kyle, I have solved the case already. Kyle pointed his finger forward. I think you're the Bug Vigilante. Mayor Tom raised an eyebrow.
Just one. He's just like, boy.
Kyle, why on earth would I pay you to find the Bug Vigilante if I were already the Bug Vigilante?
You got a good point there, Mayor.
As a distraction, obviously.
Oh, got a better point there, Kyle.
Kyle jumped on Mayor Tom's desk and began slapping him repeatedly. Admit! 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 Mayor Tom melted into a jam-like substance between Kyle's fingers.
What? It's the jam man.
Tom slid behind Kyle and reverted to his normal form.
Mayor Tom is the jam man.
Mayor Tom grabbed Kyle's hands and pinned them behind his back.
What?
There was a silence between the two of them. Then, Mayor Tom spoke.
Dude, what?
I'm not the Bug Vigilante, for I am the Bug Vigilante's worst enemy.
Dude.
Mayor Tom struck Kyle with a syringe from his pocket. Kyle sank to the ground, quickly losing consciousness. As he did, Mayor Tom spoke once again.
The jam man and the Bug Vigilante.
You'll wake up in bed tomorrow and remember nothing of this happening.
Wow.
And Kyle's vision faded to black.
I did not see that coming. Kyle forgot everything.
Kyle did not solve the case of I Can't Find My Cat.
Okay, reset to case.
It was time.
There we go.
Kyle walked inside
there we
the house.
go. We've already questioned Anna.
Kyle decided to ask Anna a few questions.
Yeah, we've done all these. Doesn't have a name. She feeds it when she can only
Kyle
catch.
felt
Oh,
like
here we
there was
go.
Something he was missing.
Call
but
Rachel.
couldn't quite put his
So we
finger on it.
didn't call Rachel here. I don't remember calling her.
Hey, Anna, said Kyle. I'm going to make a quick
Maybe
call
this is
before
where we get the
continue.
unbroken phone, because our phone won't work and we'll borrow one.
Kyle stepped outside and called Rachel on his detective radio.
I have a detective radio.
Kyle? Said Rachel. Is that you? I didn't know we had radios. Don't detectives ever use phones? Well, my phone situation is complicated.
It's broken.
Anyway, Rachel, I'm really stumped on a case, and I could use a second set of ears to figure it out. Kyle described all of the details of the case to Rachel. Kyle, it almost sounds like she's talking about...
There we go.
There?
Okay, so there is an order
do you think
to
this has anything
these.
to do with the hot dog boy, Kate?
We
Kyle,
exhausted
I think
it.
you should check around and see if you can find anything amiss. I think we're on the brink of finding something big.
It's big.
I'll see what I can find, Rachel, said Kyle. Maybe you'd want to meet up after I'm done to chat about it?
Yep.
Rachel agreed.
We need the
two
bear on
said
the
a quick
vigilante?
goodbye,
Okay.
and Kyle hung up. Kyle returned to Anna. Anna, was your cat By any chance, actually a bear? We had one show up in the middle of town a while ago. Anna looked at Kyle, a bit of fright in her eyes.
If I tell you honestly, are you gonna be mad?
Never. Me mad? Nah.
Kyle shook his head.
I never get mad.
Well, I kept a bear in my backyard and fed the neighbors' pets to it for years. That's why it's so quiet here.
Dude, how many pets did her neighbors have at the start?
A silence hung between the two of them.
What?
Said Anna.
I'm like pretty sure someone let him out on
Munch.
purpose. Come look.
Oh.
Anna brought Kyle to her yard.
Archie
There was a
and Ronnie, I
large
would never
fenced-in
feed you
area
to
with a
the-
hole
to
in
a
the
bear.
back where the bear had escaped.
So I first thought he might have chewed through the fence, right? But look at the cuts.
Anna motioned to one of the cut wires.
Oh, the Bug Vigilante
Notice
might have
how
let
even
out the
every
bear.
cut is? Almost like it was done one by one instead of in one big
What?
tear like a bear would do to escape.
Kyle examined the hole closely.
This is getting really interesting.
Well,
it was getting a
said
little
Kyle,
boring, but now it's
If
getting
someone
interesting
were to let
again.
a bear out of a cage, what would their goal be? To have it rampage?
I don't know.
Said Anna.
What about as a distraction?
Distraction.
A distraction.
Oh.
Kyle trailed off.
Well, I am Kyle.
After a moment, he spoke again. Anna, I need to go meet up with my partner, but if what I'm thinking is true, your bear is alive, healthy, and happy.
Oh, there you go.
Kyle rushed away from Anna's house to go meet with Rachel and debrief.
Maybe we can do the close one?
The two met at Kyle's studio. It was dark and quiet, as he hadn't filmed any episodes since becoming a detective.
True.
So, said Rachel, if the bear was a distraction for us, what was it distracting
Dude, there's
from?
actually a
What
story
else
to
happened
this.
that
This is
night?
crazy.
I can only imagine it would have been something otherwise obvious, or else there wouldn't be a need. The two discussed ideas back and forth, but couldn't seem to come to anything concrete. As it became late in the evening, the two decided to break for the day.
Okay, so we are
sleep on
missing
what they
one more
found.
thing. Yeah, and it's got to be from
Kyle left the
the Bug
studio as
Vigilante one.
confused as when he went in. But one thing had been made certain. The two detectives were on the brink of discovering something large.
Okay,
Kyle rifled-
Bug Vigilante.
Kyle nodded.
End of day. Here we go.
Kyle decided it was time to investigate.
Oh, we didn't
the
get skipped to
mystery of
options.
the Bug Vigilante. Mayor Tom requested that
interesting.
Kyle and Rachel meet him at City Hall
didn't
to
gossip,
begin their
so-
discussion on the Bug Vigilante. Kyle arrived at the requested time.
Oh, because
Mayor
now
Tom
Rachel's
sat
with
behind
me.
his desk,
So this
looking
is all new.
pensively at the wall beside him. Mayor Tom turned around.
Good evening, Kyle. Please take
Yeah.
a seat.
Yeah.
Kyle took a seat next to Rachel, who had arrived slightly earlier.
She waved her
She waved her
fingers.
fingers and smiled.
Hi,
Mayor
Kyle.
Tom spoke.
Good evening,
Bug
Kyle.
Vigilante, a symbol of our city. Hero, villain, it's unclear as to which side this rogue bends their actions.
Hello, Kyle.
Many in this city see our Bug Vigilante as a hero, but I view them as the worst sort of villain. From this point,
Said Mayor Tom.
I want to launch a grand investigation against the Bug Vigilante and bring them to justice.
Hey, Mayor Tom. You got any jam?
Your best is expected.
Okay,
it is
never
vital
mind.
that the vigilante
Hydrate,
doesn't
thank you.
interfere with
I'm out of
my
water.
Mayor Tom coughed.
mayoral duties.
Mayor Tom, said Rachel, what sort of mayoral duties has the Bug Vigilante gotten in the way of before? Mayor Tom froze.
Oh.
Well, I think it's more about the potential of what they might get in the way
for the hydrate.
of.
Mayor Tom fidgeted in his chair for a little while.
Oh, now we can ask about the bear.
Hey, since we're asking questions, said Kyle, I have another one about our first case together. Mayor Tom raised an eyebrow.
Oh, everything just shook.
Something was really fishy about the bear's appearance, said Kyle, like it was intended to be there. And then on a later case, we found that someone's pet bear had been let out of their cage intentionally. Rachel continued Kyle's thought. It almost seems like it was meant as a distraction for us, like something else was happening. Mayor Tom stood up from his chair.
This is ridiculous,
He said,
I can't have my detectives getting distracted by silly matters.
You sent us on these cases.
I don't want you two thinking about anything but the Bug Vigilante.
Right.
They are our only concern.
Right.
If I hear anything more about using bears as bait for someone, I'll have you out on the street within a minute.
Wait a minute, Mr. Mayor. No one said using them as bait.
Mayor Tom, said Rachel, we didn't mention anything about the bear being bait.
I am also Rachel.
A short silence followed. Then Mayor Tom spoke, a bit softly.
Right, sorry, I got mixed up. Please continue your investigation of the Bug Vigilante. We will talk tomorrow.
Mayor Tom walked
Rachel,
out of his
ASDF.
office, leaving Rachel and Kyle alone.
Same person confirmed. I'm also Kyle.
Rachel turned to face Kyle. I think Mayor Tom knows something he's not letting on.
Ground control to Mayor Tom. We're on to you.
Kyle nodded once. Let's meet back here later this evening and take a peek around, why don't we? Said Rachel.
Ooh. Yes, you are also Kyle.
We can come back when everyone else is left and hopefully not run into any complications.
Right.
The two agreed to meet back at City Hall late that
No
night.
complications.
In the meantime, they parted ways. Kyle returned to his apartment. It had been a long day. He decided to take a small nap before his meetup with Rachel.
Okay.
He would need all of his energy about him. Kyle lay down and fell asleep almost immediately.
Is this just the end of the day?
When he would awake, his detective story would be in its final chapter.
Wow, okay. Kyle napped.
Kyle awoke with a start.
I couldn't skip this part.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning. Kyle was meeting Rachel in about 30
Guys,
minutes.
it's getting so good.
Kyle jumped out of bed and quickly got his things assembled. Quietly, he left his apartment and walked to City Hall.
It's getting so good.
Rachel was standing on the corner a block away from the front. She motioned to Kyle. Hey, you, she whispered. Are you ready to look around a bit? I have some ideas of where we can start. Kyle nodded. Rachel started to move toward the back of City Hall. Kyle followed after her. I was watching the other detectives as they left today, whispered Rachel. Several of them went back here.
Oh, sorry for bumping the camera.
The back of City Hall was
the back
bland.
of City
Bushes
Hall.
crowded themselves against the walls. Few patches were bare.
Should have grabbed the key.
Rachel started spreading each bush apart, looking for anything important, but nothing appeared.
Maybe they've been going in and
Kyle
out of
looked
the magic
around the
dimension.
wall. Something struck him as being odd, but he couldn't put his finger on it.
Rachel,
He said,
I think this wall is made of jam.
It is made of jam.
Kyle pushed his hand onto the jam wall. It was formed like wood and stone, but was incredibly sticky.
Oh my goodness.
And suddenly, the wall, formed like a hand, reached out to grab Rachel and Kyle and pulled them inward.
Dude.
The pair tumbled down a dark pipeline, spinning up and down and ramming into each other.
Yeah, no kidding.
And suddenly, they landed in a well-lit room. Kyle looked up from the ground. He and Rachel were surrounded by a circle of silent, hooded individuals. And in the center of the circle stood
music.
the Jam Man. Hello,
The Jam
Kyle and
Lair.
Rachel, said the Jam Man. I see that the time of our final encounter has come. The Jam Man began to pace in circles. At first, I felt
Boss
that I
fight
was dodging
time.
around your investigation easily. Time after time, I watched you from the shadows. I watched you grow as detectives. I watched you solve case after case. Soon, I realized your power had grown too far. I knew it would be inevitable that we would meet. I tried to get you, Kyle, to eat my jam and become my servant, but you found me out before the job was completed.
Okay.
Then, the moment you found the bear that I had used to bait in the Bug Vigilante, I knew that you could run around no longer. I lured you here to my jam lair so that we might finish things once and for all. But I wish to fight you in my final form.
This isn't even my final form.
The Jam Man grabbed the front of his face and began to pull outwards.
Like
His skin
this way.
began to stretch and tear, slowly bringing his features further and further from his head. And then, with a snap, the Jam Man's face fell off, revealing none other than Mayor Tom himself.
Who would have thought?
Mayor Tom! Gasped Rachel. How could you?
Hold on, wait.
Said Mayor Tom.
I'm not in my final form
I'm
yet.
not even in my final form yet. His jam
Mayor
levels
Tom
are over
grabbed the front of his
9,000.
face and began to pull outwards.
Wait, who else is he gonna be?
His skin began to stretch and tear, slowly bringing his features further and further from his head.
Is he gonna be Rachel?
Mayor Tom grabbed his face with his other hand and began to pull harder, stretching his face even further and tearing more.
Bug Vigilante? Is it Gabby?
And then, with a massive crunch, Mayor Tom's face came
Oh, a
off,
young boy.
revealing beneath a young boy. Jerry the hot dog boy,
Jerry the hot
gasped
dog
Rachel.
boy.
Has it always been you?
Yes, said the boy. I have always been Mayor Tom.
Oh,
I had such a
yes.
sweet deal being elected. I was able to enact a law saying that no crime would ever be my fault. It was wonderful.
Oh my goodness.
But then the cursed Bug Vigilante caught on to me, and soon to follow, so did you two. Jerry flicked his hand. I must retain my grasp on this city as there is much to do. And so, it is time to fight.
Okay, Jerry.
Jerry stuck his hand down his throat and removed 2 large,
Oh my
pointy hot
goodness.
dogs. He lunged at Kyle and Rachel, jabbing
The
furiously.
boss fight music is amazing.
Rachel rolled to the side, pushing Kyle out of Jerry's way with her feet. She drew a blunt weapon hidden beneath her shirt and began approaching Jerry, striking his hot dog weapons. Kyle got to
Yeah.
his feet and looked around to get his bearings.
Pokemon
a circle
battle.
of people watched
The
him
Elite
closely,
Four.
but didn't move. Slowly, Kyle realized that each person he looked at was under the intoxicating power of Jerry's jam.
This is why you don't eat eyeball jam.
Kyle rushed toward the nearest individual. He forcefully inserted himself into their mouth and crawled into their stomach.
Of course.
Kyle began pushing and grabbing at the sides of the stomach, looking for traces of jam, and soon he found what he was looking for. Kyle opened his jaw wide and inhaled the jam he found, clearing the stomach
It's a strap.
entirely of the toxic substance. As soon as the jam was gone, Kyle crawled out of the mouth of the observer and entered another. One by one, Kyle cleaned
This is
each
such a
of
good
Jerry's
story.
followers of jam, and after a period of time, they began to come to their senses. The followers began to look around them, confused. They looked at Jerry fighting with Rachel, and they became angry. The mob threw themselves at Jerry, biting at his ears and grabbing his legs.
But then they're gonna
In
consume more
retaliation,
jam.
Jerry oozed hot dog minions out of his pores. They fought with the angry mob, trying to protect
It's
him.
okay, man. I got elves.
But it was no use. The mob
And
was
mini
simply
Kyles.
too angry. And soon, it had become obvious that Jerry was going to lose the fight. Suddenly,
him.
with a burst of speed, Jerry jumped backwards and turned into a jam pile, flying above everyone's heads.
Flying jam
He
piles.
perched on top of a nearby wall and looked down on the people below. You might think that by getting rid of me, crime will cease, but I am not the only crime lord of this city. Rachel looked at the floor.
Knew it.
Jerry took a moment to look at the people below him, but suddenly he disappeared.
Rachel's the other
Over
crime
the next
lord.
few days, Rachel and Kyle launched an investigation to find Jerry the hot dog boy.
It's Rachel.
Man hour after man hour was put into the effort, but no lead in finding Jerry the hot dog boy was ever found.
Oh man.
The detective force grew to be incredibly strong once they were not being controlled by the jam. Case after case was solved, and eventually Kyle and Rachel found that their help was no longer needed.
All right.
The two resigned from their detective duties on the same day, walking out of City Hall together.
Wow.
The sun was soft in the sky. Yellow wisps of clouds flittered over the trees. The birds sang their evening calls.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
Rachel put her hand on Kyle's shoulder and stopped him next to a bench. Kyle and Rachel stayed on the bench together for several hours. They chatted about the cases, then about life,
Aww.
then about them.
Aww.
As evening came, Kyle got up to return to his apartment. Rachel caught his hand. Kyle, I have something for you.
She gonna stab him?
I know your phone situation is
Aw.
not the best, so I got you something so we can keep in contact.
Rachel pressed a new phone into Kyle's hand.
Got a new phone.
Kyle smiled gratefully.
Now I can call 911 on you,
And
Rachel.
Kyle,
She said,
are you gonna go back to your interviews? Stay up late with Kyle coming back on air?
Kyle looked down at Rachel. She was looking right into his eyes.
If it is,
She said,
let's do my interview. I would really appreciate that.
Let's do your interview, Rachel, and then you can go to prison for a long time.
Rachel suddenly jumped up from the bench and gave Kyle a quick peck on the cheek.
Aww.
Without saying anything more, Rachel walked away from the bench, a small bounce in her step. But for a moment, she looked back, and she smiled.
Aww.
As Rachel
Crime
continued to
boss and
disappear
Kyle
down the
together
walkway,
forever.
Kyle thought about what they had talked about that night.
So cute.
Somehow, they had let Jerry the hot dog boy slip through their grasp. But at the same time, somehow, it didn't matter. Kyle's final mystery had been solved.
We did it. I was detective. Wow. Wow, yeah, what even? That was crazy. Okay. Now we have a working phone. So, let's do it, man. So we gotta wither away.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither.
Oh, shucks.
Kyle is now a ghost.
Great. Okay. Go to the hallway, float through the locked
Kyle
door, go inside, get the laser claymore, back to hallway. Leave apartment, visit downstairs neighbor, consume Gabby. Whew.
Kyle.
Yep.
A middle.
Yeah,
Kyle
come here, Gabby.
unhinged his- Job done.
Okay, and then return to apartment, bedroom, scavenge bugs. Bedroom, scavenge bugs.
Kyle quickly.
Eat immediately.
Kyle.
Is this so that we vomit, Gabby? Open the closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some
slick
time to choose
suit.
the perfect outfit.
Oh.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body
One
into
last
the
dumpy
suit.
body.
The chest.
Write notes for interview.
Kyle
Perfect.
wrote down
And then-
his first question.
Any option times 3. Are you guilty? Okay. Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Mashed.
Kyle
That's a
wrote
fast
down
one.
His third question.
Funniest story.
Kyle
And are
wrote-
you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of.
Back to desk. Back to room. Okay, cool.
Kyle hurried.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Good evening, Kyle.
Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle. After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
Okay, here we
Moment
go.
After seating,
Here
the
we
studio
go.
lights brightened
This is
and
it.
the cameras clicked on.
This is it.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Kyle vomited all of the horrible things
Oh,
he'd eaten
no.
earlier onto the floor.
Oh, no. Happy Christmas, everyone. That's right. Merry Christmas. Happy
Rachel
Christmas.
looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running.
I wonder why we had to
Kyle
vomit.
stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. Tonight, I have.
Oh,
the
'cause
pleasure
otherwise we
of
would have passed
interviewing
out.
The lovely Rachel May.
The bad
who needs
food
no
was
more
less energy than the
introduction.
rest of it. We could have done it with the time machine, too. Would have been fine with the time machine. So, okay.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera.
Hello, Kyle.
She said, I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. So we might as well dive right in.
Oh, poor
said-
Kyle.
I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile.
I'm very ready. Ready
Kyle
to go to
produced
prison.
the notes he had taken earlier. Rachel. Are you guilty? Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up and pointed at her.
Are you guilty?
Rachel's eye twitched slightly. Guilty of what, dear Kyle? She smiled disingenuously.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Guilty, spat Kyle.
Of your crimes.
Rachel did not answer. Her
Call
eyelids
police
both
with
started
new
twitching
phone.
uncontrollably.
Yes.
Kyle pulled out his phone and
I
dialed
don't know that
the
we needed
police.
the Claymore. We haven't yet.
Hello, police, said Kyle. I believe I have found a criminal. Rachel began to run towards the exit. On her way, she swatted Kyle's phone out of his hand.
Tripper. Tripper.
Kyle stuck out his leg. Rachel stumbled and crashed to the floor. But in a moment, she was on her feet. She drew a blunt weapon seemingly
this
out
is
of
what the
thin air
Claymore
and
was
started
for.
to swing at Kyle. Kyle produced his laser claymore and blocked her first offenses.
Oh my goodness.
A grand fight between the two started. Blow was traded for blow. Spins, flips.
This is a Jedi battle.
Rachel threw a large swing towards Kyle's head. He blocked forcefully, sending himself forwards. Kyle and Rachel found themselves inches away from each other, face
dude,
to face.
just
weapons crossed.
So
As
dramatic.
they looked at each other,
Oh.
something magical happened.
Oh.
Kyle
Right
thought
when you
about their
said this is
time as
super intense.
detectives together. Kyle thought about her sharp deductions. He thought about her witty, polite answers to his questions. Rachel began to think about how well Kyle had prepared just to talk to her.
That's right.
She thought about how he cared for other people. She thought about his focus on bringing joy to others.
Oh, I love bringing joy to others.
Kyle and Rachel had slowly, insidiously been falling
Ooh.
in love.
Ooh.
Kyle and Rachel's lock broke. They continued to fight back and forth, but their eyes never parted.
Oh my goodness.
Rachel spun around, leg out. She kicked Kyle's claymore out of his hand.
Oh my goodness.
She grabbed Kyle by the front of the shirt and tugged him close. "Perhaps," she whispered to him, "the last thing I should steal is your heart." Rachel pecked Kyle on the lips and slid out the door, disappearing.
Oh my goodness.
In the following days, Rachel was not found.
Oh, Rachel gets away because we swallowed
Many
Gabby.
sums of money and artifacts that had been
why
stolen
we had
from
to do it.
museums and banks were returned overnight.
Aww.
Small amounts of the sums were missing. Equal amounts were donated anonymously to homeless charities. Kyle spit Gabby back out after his fight with Rachel. She continued to be a vigilante and stopped many crimes.
Yeah, I bet Gabby would have showed up and
After
ruined the whole
receiving a
thing.
note one night under his door, Kyle took a sudden vacation to a city in Europe.
Oh, and Rachel May's going
Although
away
he had
for a
stated to
long
his fans
time.
that it would be a short trip, he never returned. Slowly, Kyle fell out of the common mind. News outlets began to cover other topics. Reruns stopped airing.
Kyle isn't
Kyle
famous.
faded into obscurity. But it's rumored that a couple from the U.S. has started a family on the coast of the British Isles. And they seem quite happy to not be famous anymore.
Aww. Kyle was famous. So that was such a good ending. What a way to end the game. Man, locked in epic combat with somebody that I ended up falling in love with through solving crimes and looking for Jerry the hot dog man. Well, there's so many more endings out there for this game, so I would say pick it up because there's so much content. But yeah, man, that was so good. Thank you guys for sticking it out. If you made it this far, power to you, because not a lot of people make it this far. And Kronos, thank you for coming through with the walkthroughs, because that would have just taken us ages. With that, thank you all, and I will see you in the next one.